Systemic disadvantages like language barriers usually result in lower academic performance, yet students who immigrate often shatter that expectation. This bar chart compares high school and college graduation rates. It shows that first-generation immigrant youth in OECD countries achieve the highest rates of post-secondary completion. In Canada, they are 2.5 times more likely to complete high school than native-born peers. Those high marks carry a hidden cost. Behind the exceptional report cards is a heavy, quiet psychological friction. To reach these percentiles, immigrant youth constantly negotiate a tension between two opposing definitions of success. The first definition comes from their parents. For families who endure the stress of resettlement, survival is the primary objective. Success in this framework is defined by absolute financial stability and societal status. That mindset demands institutional safety. The acceptable career paths are almost exclusively medicine, engineering, or law. The children grow up in an environment where survival is already secured. They absorb a modern ideal that prioritizes personal passion, work-life balance, and professional autonomy. The core conflict of their young adulthood is figuring out how to honor the people who sacrificed for them without surrendering their own agency. The engine driving those top-tier academic outcomes is a deeply ingrained cultural concept called filial piety. It is an unwritten, lifelong duty to love, care for, and honor one's parents. How that duty is enforced determines the psychological health of the student. In an authoritative filial piety model, parents demand strict obedience and direct their children toward rigid, prestigious paths. That pressure places students into environments defined by an intense, overwhelming scale of peer competition. The results of this strict approach include high levels of rigidity, deep-seated resentment, and a paralyzing fear of failure. Research points to a healthier alternative, known as the reciprocal model. Here, parents maintain high academic standards, but they actively support their child's autonomy. Indeed, this approach aligns with self-determination theory. The students internalize the values of their parents and pursue difficult goals because they actively want to make their families proud. Academic excellence for these students is the physical manifestation of attempting to repay a generational debt. The urge to repay that debt dictates deeply personal choices, especially when these young adults begin dating. Parents frequently push for endogamy, the practice of marrying strictly within their own culture. Seeing their child date outside the community triggers a real fear of cultural erasure. The children seek partners who understand their complex bicultural reality and respect their need for modern autonomy. Finding that connection often relies on subtle nuances, like seeking a partner who understands why the Spanish phrase lo siento carries a different emotional weight than the English I'm sorry. Choosing a partner with a shared cultural background preserves their dual identity, validating both the ancestral heritage and the modern self. Once these individuals enter the workforce, the cultural expectation of repayment takes on a literal financial dimension. They act as a unique kind of sandwich generation, expected to build their own financial foundation while acting as a safety net for their parents and extended family. This flowchart maps the friction. A central income node is aggressively drained by outward-pointing arrows to parents and extended family. Fulfilling these obligations directly threatens the young adult's stability. As outward nodes fill, the central node representing personal savings remains completely empty. However, setting financial boundaries induces extreme guilt. In many collectivist cultures, a child views their income not as personal property, but as belonging to the entire family network. Achieving the high-paying career their parents demanded creates a paradox. The very success meant to provide security traps them in an obligation to others that threatens their own financial health. Escaping that trap requires transitioning away from blind obedience and toward structured, reciprocal respect. This means changing how they communicate. They learn to use I statements and explicitly acknowledge their parents' survival trauma while firmly defining their own personal goals. In practical terms, this is the concept of securing your own mask first. Saving for a home or a retirement account before distributing wealth to extended family is a structural necessity. Setting firm emotional and financial boundaries is the only way to honor the family without destroying the child's future. Defying exact career or life expectations leaves many second-generation immigrants with a lingering fear that they are failing their families. Immigrant parents endure the hardships of relocation to provide their children with choices, the ability to act on self-determination that the parents themselves never possessed. The path forward is an active hybridization. The individual respects their heritage and cares for their parents while fiercely pursuing their personal autonomy. By navigating this tension and setting healthy boundaries, immigrant youth are not rejecting their parents' sacrifices. They are the ultimate realization of them.